You know, I said this before in 218 videos at this point, but Mondays can be a real drag. They can be. And in a lot of people's cases, they are. That's normal. I mean, the weekend's over and done with. You know, we want to get back to a time when we can relax. We want to be able to do whatever we want. But it's Monday, so we gotta get back to the old grind. But there is one good thing about having these videos at the very end of the day. Technically, Monday's almost over. So, think about that. In that case, happy Monday, everybody. Yep, it's Monday, back to the old grind, etc., but I'm not letting that get me down, and you shouldn't either. And speaking of things that don't get me down, one thing, I actually tried yoga again. Yeah, I'm actually going to like it more and more, believe it or not. So, I tried like Warrior 1, Warrior 2, a breathing exercise where you close one nostril, breathe in, close both nostrils, open the other nostril, and exhale, and breathe in the nostril that's open. Breathe in. It's great. I honestly feel rather peaceful doing it. I mean, I don't think I'll actually pursue yoga for the rest of my life, but whenever I do it, I don't know, I just feel kind of relaxed. And honestly, this time has made me really reconnect with a few things. I've been replaying some old games I have, and actually, speaking of old games, that does remind me. Believe it or not, this past weekend, a new video game came out. A video game that's actually near and dear to the hearts of myself and my brother. In fact, it's not only a game that connects us both. It's actually the game that got me started into playing video games themselves. And a lot of you guys are either going to really like the game franchise I'm about to say, or you are really going to hate it. You'll see why momentarily. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The game franchise I'm talking about is Mario Party. Yep, the new Mario Party game came out for the Nintendo Switch. And as soon as I get free time, I'm going to go out and get it. I'm actually really busy working on some stuff right now, as you guys know. Anyway, so I say a lot of you guys are going to hate it because for those of you who may or may not know, Mario Party is the game that ruins friendships. And let me explain what the game is about. See, basically, it consists of essentially board games. You roll a dice, whatever, you pick, a character from the Super Mario franchise. In fact, in the original games, you could pick through 6 characters. It was Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Wario, Yoshi, and Donkey Kong. My brother was always Donkey Kong in those games, by the way. And so was I. Donkey Kong is awesome. And then, in the first 2 games, if you didn't pick Donkey Kong, you picked Wario because of his German voiceover actor was used for the English translation of the games as well. And there's the famous, "No, I missed." So, yeah, Donkey Kong and Wario are the ones everybody wanted to play as just because. And basically, if you played on hard, Princess Peach is evil. And I'm just talking about the first, actually may very well be all the games. Anyway, so basically, as a board game, you have a dice, you collect stars to, increase your score. And the final score is based on how many stars you have and how many coins you have. Basically, it's a race to get the most stars, but coins are used as a tiebreaker in case anyone has the same number of stars. Actually, that does remind me of a very funny and very interesting story, but I'll get to that in a few minutes. So, because of that, a lot of board games involving dice rolling and such, they're luck-based. You're either going to get what you get or you don't. And that's just what life is. In fact, I'll tell you something right now, ladies and gentlemen. My brother and I have played through all of the Mario Party games between the two of us. And while we have agreed that some are better than others, the love for the franchise is basically the same. Although the last two games, I will admit, far deviated from what they ought to be. But that's neither here or there. Actually, the only game we didn't play was like the one for the Nintendo DS, but honestly, it just didn't interest me, and my brother does not have a Nintendo DS. So, with that said, an interesting fact about the first Mario Party game. Not only is there a board game, but there's also mini games. And in the first Mario Party game, they actually involved rotating joysticks. Believe it or not, children would get would cut their hands or get blisters from it. It happened to me too. On this hand, believe it or not, as well. So, yeah. We get, so basically, Nintendo was sued for that and they lost. I forget what the settlement was exactly, but the point is, after that, every Mario Party game that came after the first one no longer had the rotating joysticks gimmick. Which is honestly for the best, I feel. With that said, how about I get into a very fun, interesting story? And this is actually really, you're going to see this as an inspiration for little brothers everywhere, as to give you a hint as to what it is. Before I started playing video games, before I did any of that at all, my brother was absolutely the best one of our peers in terms of playing video games. Like, he'd play the game and I'd watch. That was our thing. That was like the dynamic. Which made sense. He's older than me. I'm younger than him. Learn. Honestly, video games are one of the few things I can recall that have always stuck with us, that have connected us in a way. And I find that rather special. So, I never really played much Mario Party. But when my brother had his friends over, he was the king. Absolutely no one could beat him. It was unbelievable. In fact, the only times I ever saw him lose in Mario Party was because of, again, it's a board game and therefore it's relatively luck-based. He just happened to have poor luck. But one day I got bored and I was playing Mario Party 2. See, I said the scoring system is stars and coins. The best way to get coins during the actual board game itself is to win mini-games. And one day I got bored, and so one day I turned on the old N64 and I just started playing the mini-games. I practiced and practiced and practiced, and one day, it was actually on a Saturday, before my family went to church, in fact, my brother and I spent the morning playing a round of Mario Party. It was Mario Party 2. It was actually it was in Bowser Land, if those of you who are wondering what the name of the board we were playing on was. And believe it or not, he was Donkey Kong and I was Wario, which made sense. He's the older brother. He should be player one. He should get to pick get to pick first, which is fine. I picked Wario, although at the time I didn't really see I missed thing. That really wasn't a thing until years later. But I'm glad I know what it is now for obvious reasons, partly because it's funny. So we go through, because when you start a round of Mario Party, you can either do a 20-turn game, a 35-turn game, or a 50-turn game. We just simply did 20 because that takes long enough as it is. So, throughout the game, I'm basically doing everything I learned through practicing all the mini games. And believe it or not, at the end of each round of Mario Party, at least in the first, actually in a lot of the games, they have what are called bonus stars. And especially in the first 4 games, in fact, there's been like 10 games of Mario Party, so yeah. Needless to say, 9 and 10 have deviated from the formula. Anyway, the 3 stars that were always constant at the end of the game, they are awarded for whatever. There was 1 star for winning the most coins from minigames. There was 1 star that was given to whoever had the most coins at any given time. Say you had 100 coins throughout and no one passed that, but you lost coins over time. You still had the most at one point, so you get the star anyway. And there was a 3rd one for what were called happening spaces. For those of you guys who don't know, on the board there was like these green spaces with question marks on them, which were called happening spaces because when you step on them, what's going to happen, essentially. So, long story short, I'm pretty sure my brother won the minigames. No, actually, my brother at the end of the game had 4 stars and 94 coins. I ended up getting all 3 bonus stars. You know what my score was? 4 stars and 95 coins. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I beat my brother by 1 coin. That was the first time I had ever seen my brother lose at Mario Party by someone that wasn't a computer. And holy cow, did that fill me with happiness and pride and all sorts of good emotions. And to this day, I'll still hold that over him. What can I say? When you beat your older brother in something that you would think he's better than you at, you have a right to hold on to that memory forever. Just like you guys have a right to be entertained by me forever, if you want to. Ah, boy. So, yeah. Hope that was a nice little inspirational story for this otherwise long and grueling drag of a Monday. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. With that said, I'm humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm hopeful that we all have a wonderful rest of the day. Or if your day is basically over, I hope you had a wonderful day. And remember, if any of you guys ever want to talk or chat, I'll always be here to lend an ear, and I'll always have your back. And in honor of my brother, I'm going to say what his overall thoughts on Mario Party are. Mario Party! Woo! Take care.